Once there was a bad and jealous queen. She had a kind and beautiful daughter. Many princes from many countries wanted to marry the princess. The queen said to each prince, "Before you marry my daughter, you have to do something for me." And then she gave him an impossible job. When he couldn't do it, she said, "Now you will die." And her woodcutter cut off his head. "You will never marry," she said to her unhappy daughter. And she laughed. Prince Charles was the son of a poor king in a small country. He heard about the beautiful princess. He said to his father, "I want to marry her." "Never," cried the king. "The queen will kill you. You are my only son, I cannot lose you. There are hundreds of beautiful women in the world. You don't have to marry this one." But the prince was very sad. He couldn't eat. He couldn't sleep. In the end his father said, "Go, then go to the princess. I hope you will do better than the other princes. I hope I will see you again." The prince was very excited and he danced round his rooms. He ate a lot of food and got strong again. Then he began his journey. He had no servants, because his father was poor. "I'll find servants on the way," he said. After a short time, the prince saw a small mountain. "What is that mountain?" he thought. It wasn't there before. He went nearer. It wasn't a mountain. It was a very fat man on his back, asleep. The prince went near him and the fat man woke up. "What are you doing here, fat man?" asked the prince. "I was asleep," said fat man, "and now I am not asleep." "Because of you." "Why were you asleep?" "Because I had some food this morning. Now I want my lunch." "What did you eat this morning?" asked the prince. 10 chickens and 100 cakes, said fat man. "Will you be my servant?" asked the prince. "Give me food," said the fat man, "and I will do anything for you." So the fat man followed the prince. A short time later on their journey, they found another man. His head was down and his left ear was on the ground. He looked up. His left ear was very large. "What are you doing, Big Ear?" asked the prince. "I am listening," said Big Ear. "The flowers are opening. The birds are singing in a country over the sea. I can hear them." "What can you hear in the house of the beautiful princess?" asked the prince. "People are crying. Another prince is dead. Will you be my servant, Big Ear?" "Yes," said Big Ear, "I will." A short time after that, they saw 2 long things by the road. "What are they?" "Trees," said Fat Man. They went nearer. "They're not trees," said Big Ear. "They're arms. The longest arms in the world." A little later they saw the man's head. "You are a very long person," said the prince. "I can be longer than this," said Long Arms. "Come with me, Long Arms," said the prince. "Be my servant." So Long Arms followed the prince. Next they saw a man with a hand over one eye. "Is there something in your eye?" asked the prince. "No," said the man. "I can see a long way. I can see through things, buildings, mountains, water. When something is near me, I have to put my hand over one eye. Then I can see it. Come with me, Quick Eyes," said the prince, "and be my servant." And Quick Eyes followed the prince. They went on their journey and the sun got very hot. The prince opened his coat. They came to a man by the road. He wore 2 thick coats and a large hat. They could not see his face. He said, "I am cold, cold, cold." "Why are you cold, cold man?" asked the prince. "The sun is very hot and our coats and shirts are open." "We are hot. When I open my coat," answered Cold Man, "the sun disappears. It snows. Everything dies of cold. Come with me," said the prince, "and be my servant. But please don't open your coat." Cold Man went with the prince. Prince Charles and his servants arrived at the city, and the prince went to the queen. "I want to marry the princess," he said. "What do I have to do?" The queen answered, "You will have to do 3 things. Do them well. Then you can marry the princess." "What is the first thing?" asked the prince. "I have a beautiful blue jewel. Yesterday it fell into the river. Bring me the jewel before the sun goes down." The prince went back to his servants. "How can we find the jewel?" he asked them. Quick Eyes took his hand from his eye. "I will look for it." He went to the river. "There it is over there." "I can't see it," said Long Arms. Then Fat Man opened his mouth and drank the water in the river. A short time later, the river was dry. Long Arms got the jewel and gave it to the prince.